Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, and this is a continuation of the videos that I've been doing on how to color your worlds within worlds by Kirby Roseanne's. I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Wouldn't you think that that sneeze would come before I started recording? Of course not. I start the recording, gotta sneeze. All right, so yeah, Kirby Roseanne's World Within Worlds. And you've been following along with me. Thank you so much for all the neat comments, not comments, but emails you've been sending me about this particular video. I really do appreciate it. Because as you know, all of us who do these videos thrive on feedback. So that's very, very important to us. So take a second, won't you? All right. So, as you know, I've been doing the coloring with the painting with the wet eyeshadow, and have gone through and did the backwards, you know, the moon, and did the rocks, and did the trees. That's my last part. Now these little trees that I did those in pencil because they are very, very teeny tiny, and that would have been a little ridiculous to try and do it with eyeshadow. Could have done it, but there was no reason. All right, so now I'm at a point that I'm going to show you something because I wanted to go ahead and do the rocks, which are these gray areas. But in doing that, there's an important step that I want to show you. Now, this step is totally optional. I don't want you to feel intimidated by the fact that I'm showing you this. However, as you know, I would never show you that I didn't feel that you guys weren't capable of doing. So I want you to trust me on this one because you know that I take care of you guys, and that I don't do anything that I don't think that you can't do. All right. So, what I want to show you today, let me get you zoomed in a little bit, is an inking technique. Now, I need you to go back, if you haven't seen it already, and look at my video dated April 13th. And on that video, I showed you a bunch of ways to ink your Worlds Within Worlds books. Now, I love the method. You guys obviously love the method because I got a lot of feedback on that one. And so I'm continuing with it because you guys seem to like it. I love it. And so I want to show you this on this particular project that I've been working with you. Okay, so I've got 3 pens. They are easily obtainable. This first pen is a 0.28 micro pen. And this little guy has a very narrow line, very fine line. And you got to have pens. And this is a simple pilot pen. The little clip's been broken, but it's all right. It's a 0.5. And then your standard pen that I've been using is the Pilot 07. All right, let me show you the 3 lines that this produces. I'm going to pull you in. All right, so this is the first one, which is my very narrow, my micro pen. Then my 05, which you can see is heavier. And then you can see that this 07. So there are the 3 line weights that I'm working with on this. So again, if you haven't seen it, I really need you to look at the April 13th video that I did showing you this inking technique because it's fantastic. I love it. Lots of fun to do. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that inking technique. I'm going to be using my micro pen and my 05 for this. So here we go. the whole idea is that I'm using this to highlight the black on the painting that I've done. Now, where this first came up, because I want to show you this, where this first came up is on the rocks. And as you look on the rocks, you can see that we've got spaces between the rocks, and we have shadowing on the rocks. So there's a couple of techniques that I want to show you that you need to be aware of. For the spaces in between the rocks, we want to go ahead and color in solid lines. So that means that, let me pull you in some more. That means that here, for example, I just went ahead and literally colored that whole thing in. Now see, you can even outline the rocks to make them pop, okay? Don't get caught up in doing a lot of them. You just need to do a few to show the intention of what you want to do. So right now I'm basically working with my 05, and I am working in the areas between the rocks. And you can see right away how that's going to start to really pull those up. So you need to take a little time to figure out which is which. And if you want to, you can go over the lines that Kirby drew. That's fine too. Okay, so let me pull you up here. And actually, I'm pressing very lightly with my pen. Okay, now I colored that in because that's an in-between rocks. And just for orientation, I'm on the top part of this, moon where it goes out to the little tip. So just to let you know, because I'm in macro view, I love to show you guys macro view so you can really see what you're doing. And notice I'm not necessarily outlining the whole rock, I'm just doing a little portion of it. Okay, let me hit this real quick. All right, so I'm going to pull you out now. And I want to show you how you can really see the difference now where I have colored in between the rocks. Now I'm emphasizing that for a reason, because the next thing we're going to look at is I'm going to take I'm still using my 05 pen, not my micro pen, and these dash lines that Kirby puts in with a very light touch, I'm going ahead and I am going over those. Now, you don't have to do it on all the rocks. Don't feel like we're going to be doing the whole thing, because you're not. And I'm doing this in swift jabbing, type thing. I'm not drawing them in. I'm just doing little, the more swift movement. Now, this really helps make this pop where you've colored over with the eyeshadow. Now, do you have to do this again? No, you don't. Absolutely not. Because instead of using the black pen, you may want to go through and color with your pencil and use that, because there are shade lines that the author has put in there, and use those areas and color in with pencil. That's fine. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do on the trees, because I'm not, as I was thinking about it in the method, I'm not really planning on doing the trees with the eyeshadow, because I want to show you a different method. Okay, let me get over here. And again, if you just want to leave that the way it was from the eyeshadow, that's fine. This is not complicated. It shouldn't be scary. The lines are right on the paper there to show you. No different from coloring over these. So again, the method is paint your eyeshadow down, and then if you wish to pop it, go back and highlight some of the hash marks that Kirby put in there. Okay, so and it's not really time consuming, but boy, does it add to the piece. So either or is fine. Okay. So now, as you look at that, you can see how that's really popping this piece. And again, the alternative is, because remember I put for example, on the pink, I put painted with the eyeshadow and then went back and put some pink on there with a pencil. So it gives you a couple of methods and choices as to how you want to do this. And you'll need to let me know how you like this. Doesn't take long. Bear with me. And again, I'm not necessarily hitting all of them. See, real quick. Now, don't get sloppy with it, of course. But notice, unlike the rocks, I'm not coloring in, I'm doing the dash marks. Okay, and I think that's a very, very good representation. I'm going to pull you out a little bit now so that you can see the entire effect. See? So you can see it all the way around here. And if you feel that you missed a few areas, I can see some in here that need to, just for balance. I'm gonna hit these real quick. So my word is quick but careful. And I'm deliberately leaving you out in that view so that you can see what the overall look is. There we go. Cool. All right, so I'm going to go back to the rocks, and I'm going to look for any areas that I feel can be colored in, because I want to show the rocks themselves. And again, guys, I'm just following Kirby's lines here. Now, see how these rocks are starting to pop out? So we have a really great wash effect with the wet eyeshadow. And now I'm going back and I'm adding, this can be colored in because it's between two rocks. Now I'm adding that, I'm going to hash because that's on a rock. Let me make sure I'm in view. Now I'm adding the details and the highlights here. It's just too difficult to try and get this wash effect with a pen, just coloring in a pencil. So that's why I did it the way that I did do it. And I'm particularly interested in where the rocks butt up against the greenery. We want to make sure that we have a really good distinguishing line there. And again, look, 2 seconds, guys, not complex. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is decide on a grayish rock color to work out the details of this rock wash. So let me pull my gray pencils. It's a little too dark. Oh, I like that. All right, that's promising. Yeah, it's a little dark, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to set those two aside. And if you can hear my cat in the background, she likes to bring me a toy, and when she does that, ooh, that's a really good one. Very similar to that first one. Okay, so I've got these 3. That's good. You can use 2 or 3. You can use 1. Depends what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to start in the middle where my largest rocks are. And I'm going to color where the lines are. See, we've got, now see how that pops. Pull you in. Sharpen my pencils. Excuse me while I sharpen the other two. You want a sharp point with these. And basically I'm just staying on top of the lines here that Kirby drew. Because I've got my wash. To take care of the rest of the rock. And we want to be careful right here because we're into the pink. And look how beautiful that is now. And you don't have to add a lot, okay? And if you want to go over those lines you just put in, that's fine. Okay, now I'm working my way up to the top here. Now, this is mostly the pink, so I'm going to quit right here, see? Because basically the rocks do stop here. The rest of this is Moon Crater. So I've gone far enough with that gray. But look how beautifully now this is coming together. And I'm coloring very, very lightly, guys. You don't want to obliterate your wash, okay? But you want to add just enough that we get character on the stone. And that's where, see these lines that Kirby drew in that are very fine, real tiny? Get you in here, yeah. Okay, see, I'm just hitting those and then just going outside of them a little bit. Very, very light coloring. And this is why it got important, this is why it got important to put this black on here. Now see here, I didn't put the black pen on. So I'm going to go ahead with my pencil and highlight that, okay? So that's another neat look. All right, take a minute to look at that while I grab some water. And again, if you haven't seen it, I absolutely need you to look at my video of 413. It's going to explain a lot as to what I'm doing today. Now be very judicious with your coloring, with your pencils. Okay, we don't want to obliterate all that neat work we just did. This is why I'm in my little micro view, so you can see exactly where I'm coloring. See where these little lines are? I'm just popping on top of them. I'm not even gonna do a coloring on that. Same here. Take advantage of what Kirby drew for you. Now here I'm coloring in with pencil because I didn't really do it with pen. Oops, got to do up here too. Now, the one thing that I am doing is I am clearly establishing the border of the rocks with this edge here. Because when we do that in green for the greenery, that'll give a nice distinction as well. Let's see, so the rock is there, got a little there. Now, the one thing I really like about Kirby's books, because I get a lot of questions about that from people who say, well, how do I know where to color? Well, that's where Kirby puts his lines and his shading, and he shows you that. And once you start to add that, for example, look at this rock right here. Okay, so Kirby put shading in here, which I followed, right? And then he put a line in there, which I followed. And then I thought, hey, wouldn't it be neat just to color just that one side of that rock just to give it a little dimension? That's what I did. Trust me, as you get to coloring this stuff, you will get a feel for where to color and shade. And if not, you always have the eraser, right? And some of this stuff, as you noticed, even though I did put the black line in there, you know, I either leave it or sometimes I color over. It just depends. Do not let this intimidate you guys. And guys, I really do appreciate that you follow what I tell you on some of this stuff. But at some point, don't be afraid to branch out on your own. Everything that I'm showing you is a guide, okay? And it depends on your taste. So you can use my techniques to create stuff that you like. All right, so let's see, I think we can go right up to there is still rock. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull you out. And then what I'm gonna do is just do one swipe with my finger just to kind of even all that out. Again, you don't have to, but I wanted to do that. All right, so let me pull you out so you can see the whole effect. Isn't that neat? Now, if you see a couple light areas, which I do, let me just check something here. There we go. If you see a couple light areas, which I do, feel free to just hit those a little bit and shade them, if you wish. Okay. And don't fuss with this, because you know me, I get going on this, I start fussing with it and coloring this and coloring that. All right, so here's what I want you to see, is you can see on the purple where I highlighted it with the black. It really shows up and pops, okay? Didn't have to do every single one. See, there's one right there I didn't do because it was in purple, okay? But look how that shows up now all the way through. The only thing that I would recommend is if you're looking at this highlighting, now see, I noticed that I didn't highlight out here, so just for balance reasons, I'm gonna hit that. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. And that's just me being picky, excuse my arm. But look how that whole thing now just, boom, pops up right at you. Is that not neat? I love it. Okay. So I hope you're happy with this. I am very happy with it. I just love how everything has just settled in beautifully here with this. All right, so I'm going to pull you in now. And I'm going to work on the tree, not branches, but the trees. I'll get there in a minute. And so I need to look at some browns here. The trunks. Gosh, I couldn't even come up with that word. That's pitiful. Let me put my grays away. All right, so here's my thoughts on the trees. As I said to you before in my previous video, the ones in the back I'm intending on making darker because they are further away. So let me get my browns. All right, bear with me. I am getting a whole new way to store my pencils on Wednesday. It's due in from Amazon. And I'm going to be doing a really short video because basically what it is some little shelves, portable shelves. And all this stuff right now that I have in soup cans, you know me, I've got these cans and it's worked fine. But I'm getting in 3 more sets of pencils, and these cans are getting a little more difficult now to manage. So I'm going to get my little portable shelves here. They go right on my desk, and I got them, like I said, from Amazon. Where are my other browns? Okay, there they are. All right, so I want my trees in the back to be darker. Let me check one more thing here. Bear with me. There it is. And I really hope that you've had as much fun watching these videos and this stuff that I'm doing for you. Ooh, don't want to do that. As I've had showing you. No, but that's probably going to be a front color. Let's set that little guy aside. Yeah. Oh, let's see. No. No, too black. Ooh, there's a candidate. Yeah. It's coconut brown. I like that. All right, so coconut brown for the back trees, and then this one for the ones in front, which is light chocolate. They're my Cool Bank pencils, but again, I'm not concerned. Let me pull you in. I'm not concerned about brand for you. I'm concerned just getting a color match that you like. All right. Okay, so I'm going to sharpen my pencils. And I'm going to work on my darkest first. Let me pull you out. All right, so I've got my nice background from my wash with my eyeshadow, my painting. And now I'm going to go ahead and start on one of the back trees. All right, so I'm going to work on this one. Now, the trick here is you don't want to lose your wash, okay? So notice that I'm moving around, and also I'm coloring very lightly. What do I always tell you? Start light, okay? And I'm following Kirby's lines on this. Very, very light. And see, that wash is showing through. And don't forget to turn your pencil when you lift it. And I'm going to hit the outsides here. All right. And then what I'm going to do is literally just take my finger and go over the top. Look at that. Because if you use your blending pencil, you're going to be too harsh with that point. Let me grab my blending pencil and show you. If you use this blending pencil on here, and I'm not really going to do it, it's just too harsh. You want an overall blend because you don't want to lose that wash. Okay? All right, so this is a back tree as well. See how nicely that comes together when I blend it with my finger? And of course I'll have to erase this, but that's fine. All right, look how neat those two trees look. Now remember, this tree, and this tree are gonna be my lightest. So let me, wait, I gotta go back and make sure I don't have any tree up here. No, okay. So on this one, which is my lightest, okay, so now I've got this one. Wanna make sure where I got my tree. And this is why you want to be turning your pencil, because you need that point. Okay. Sorry for the pause. I was just looking at something. Now, let me show you something here. So I've drawn in my lines, which look yucky in macro view, but that's okay. You know that that happens. Now I'm just very, very lightly coloring with this pencil. All right, there you go. See? I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, it's like a 0.5. Okay, now see, you see where these lines are that Kirby drew in? I'm gonna hit those. There we go. All right, and let me sharpen my pencil. Now, one thing I do want to say is this. If you're coloring an area, now obviously I did the wash on all the trees, right? If you're coloring a tree and you decide that you don't want any of that wash to show through, that's fine. You know, you can always change in the middle of your work. You are not locked into keeping that wash. That is perfectly okay. I change horses a lot when I'm coloring, and I'm doing it on camera. So you know, hey. But this wash, when I color very lightly with my darker pencil, is giving me a really nice background. See, I colored lightly over that spot, but the wash is coming through, so it gives a really nice color. All right, so that's tree number 3. All right, let me check number 4. I got to see how far up it goes. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's that one. Okay. Again, turn your pencil every time you lift. And to my newbies who are saying, how do I know where to color? Well, right now I'm following lines that Kirby drew in just to give me a guide where I want to pop some color. You rub that. I'll make that a little darker. Oh yeah, guys, look at that now. Let me pull you out just a little bit. And I'm going to color just a little darker by the tree leaves because I want that to, in effect, be like a shadow. See how nice that looks? Okay. Now, in looking at these trees, I noticed that this one's a little lighter than my other three, so let me balance that a little bit. Now, one thing I always tell you, and I'm guilty of this because I don't do it a lot in my videos, but I should. If you really want to see what's going on, turn your piece upside down. And what it does is it tricks your brain into not comprehending what you're looking at because you're not seeing a familiar sight. And by not seeing a familiar sight, it lets you see the coloring a lot better. So I can tell immediately, as you can, this guy's lighter than this. So I'm going to even color that upside down just a little bit. I really need to be doing this more in my videos so you guys see that. Okay. Oh yeah, lots better. And then what I'll eventually do, but I'm just going to show you this a little bit now, is I'm going to take my eraser and erase in between the trees, because with my fat fingers, when I went ahead and smeared this to blend it, of course the brown got on this area. So, you know, keep it as clean as you can. Okay. Let me get my little micro eraser. Yeah, and what I'd like to know from you guys is somebody could tell me, are any of you guys having problems ordering from Amazon? I think in Europe, Amazon has basically shut down non-essential items. But here in the United States, I mean, like I said, I ordered more pencils. I gotta quit ordering pencils. Ooh, there's a spot I missed. Hold on. There it is. And everything I've ordered is coming in. Now, they told me it was going to be a month out, and then I got a text message that they said, oh, it's going to be you know, end of April, so, you know, that's okay. But I'd be curious if you guys would let me know if you're having any problems ordering from Amazon. So basically, I'm not. It's just taking a little longer. Okay, so now there are my back trees, okay? And now I'm going to color my front trees. Let's see here. I'm just checking something here. Yeah, I'm gonna go a different color. I tried one before that I showed you, but I'm gonna go with this one here. This is my Faber-Castell 187, if you're wondering. It's a little lighter still than the one I originally showed you. All right, now we've got tree branches in here. Kirby's hiding them. So let's just make sure we get all those. If not, I'll find them when I go to do the leaves. Okay, I think I got them. Again, you want to be a little darker near your leaves, right? And again, I'm following Kirby's lead here, which looks spotty, but when I'm done, it won't. Very light color. And of course, I'm going to be rubbing that with my finger. Okay, I'm going to darken this around the bird wing. Ah, that's so pretty. The edge of the tree, I'm going to make that a little darker. My apologies for not mentioning that earlier, but that's what I did on these as well. Oh yeah, look how neat that looks. And we've got to get in between. See right here, these little teeny tiny leaves from the plants. We need to get in between those. Now, you might be asking me, with all the coverage that I'm giving these trees, why to bother do the eyeshadow wash, right? Well, if you look at this color difference between here and here, okay, or let's do it over here. Between here and here, you can see quite a bit of color difference. So that's what makes this. It's that little touch. All right, let me blend that. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, sharpen pencil. Let me pull you out. What you're really doing with that eyeshadow wash is creating a different color background than the paper to work on. That's the point. See, look at the difference here. Here, let me do this one next. And see, all I have to do is change the pressure, and literally in the same stroke, I'm changing the color. And as you get better with your coloring, you'll be able to do the same thing. In other words, when I did this little branch here and then I immediately went to a light stroke down here, you will develop that skill as well. Oh, and the other point that I was going to make about doing a wash to make a new base color is your base color affects the color that you color with. So, and I showed you this when I did the mushrooms, that when you layer one color on another, it tends to change that second color that you're putting on. Because I've had several people say, well, why should I bother doing a wash if I'm going to color over it? Because it changes the whole look of what you're doing. All right, now I got to sharpen because I'm in some wonky areas. Excuse me while I get a little water. Yeah, I'm going to be using my fine liners on these plants because, ooh, this is just, ooh. All right. And see, look, see this dark spot? I did that on purpose. I mean, I pushed super hard just to make that dark, see? All right, so now I'm going to go through and hit this with my finger. Good to go. All right. One more tree and that's it for this video, guys. Next one, I'll show you how I'm going to be doing the leaves, and you're really going to want to see that. I'm not going to do a wash on them because of the, not complexity, but just because of the way this is. I want to do a standalone on the coloring, but I want you to see it because I'm also going to do some inking on this. And if you're following me and following all this that I'm doing, you're really going to want to see that. Yeah, I want to get that right there. Get a little dark under here. Shadow that. Oh, that's just coming out beautifully. Now this tree here looks a little spotty to me, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that again with my finger. See, you can fix that. Mm-hmm. And yes, take the time to get in between those flowers there. Let me sharpen my pencil. Take the time and sweat the details. Sweat this, look. It really makes it pop. See how I'm highlighting this one area where that comes down here? Look at that, see? And then the rest of that I'm making light. Don't be afraid to do stuff like that. And I'm really going to darken that. I just think that looks really neat. There we go. Oh, let me pop back on something here. Now this area here, see where that's dark and that's dark? So I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did on that other tree, is just really darken in that whole area. If you see a clear path like that where you see that is neat for darkening, go ahead and do it. Look at this one right here. I mean, I'm just pressing the heck out of that. Look how more natural that looks. Okay. And now I'm getting into my fussy stage, where I start fussing with stuff I've already colored. Now, one thing that you can do, which I've done with this tree and will do with my background trees, is I've picked up a slightly different color pencil. It's a little bit more reddish brown, and I've added that on top of the brown that I just put on there. These are also things that you can do on your trees. And the reason that I'm taking the time to do that is you should know by now on my videos that I like to show you this extra stuff. This is not necessary, but I want to show you that you can do these. So a reddish brown looks terrific with this. There you go. All right. So let me go ahead and do that. And with a different finger, I'm going to do this. And yes, I will be erasing that besides by the trees. That's fine. But oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that. All right, let me see if I got you out all the way. I'm going to quit right there. But now I want you to see the whole effect. All right. So, what we do? We went through and we highlighted the black in the rocks, either by coloring a full black space in between the rocks, and then doing the hashing on the shading. Look how terrific those rocks are now and how they stand out. Then I've got the trees, the darker in the background, lighter up front. Showed you how to add a little more red to the darkest trees if you want, a reddish brown. And then went ahead and showed you how to highlight different features in the bark. All right, next video. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on the bottom here because there's just so much here to do. But I will do, my next video is going to be the trees here, and then I'm going to do the trees down here. But all this little teeny tiny stuff I'm not going to worry about. You can do that with your fine liners. And then I got to show you how I want to do the background. And I'm not going to do a background like an earth background here. This background I want to be the space. So I'm going to add some stars in between here because I want that to be open. Let me grab, yeah. See, that's what I did on my sample piece. Is I didn't put the stars in, but I went ahead and I colored the blue the same as the background because I wanted it to look like it was an open moon. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for now. I am so happy that you joined me. Please, please, please give me a thumbs up if you like what I do. Gosh, guys, it helps me. It really does. And I hope that you see that I've given you enough information that for 1 second of your time, you can just click that up arrow if you like it. If you don't like it, click the down. But, you know, if you like it, please click the up, because that changes my ranking, and I really do appreciate that. All right, guys. This is ILene Vick for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, doing the Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rose Haynes. And I just finished doing the trees and the rocks for you and highlighting with inking on here. I hope you had a great time. I did. And till next time. All right, guys. Joyous, joyous coloring. Bye.